coming to you from Kaira Studios. I'm Nicole Watkins, and today we're going to keep exploring sort of how to break down some repertoire exercises. So I chose two kind of quintessential exercises. We did the 100 and we broke that down, and now we're going to do swimming. So it's something for like the front line of your body and then something for the back line of your body. So swimming is done on your belly. So you lay on your side. And you have your legs, depending on the teacher, your legs might be farther or closer together. And your arms are about a V. And then you lift your arms and legs up, and you lift opposite arm and leg up behind you. Neck is long, and you just go as fast as you can as you breathe, trying to keep the knees straight. So there's a lot of different things that go into this. The first place I like to practice this is bridging, because I want to think about the back diagonals of my body. So from opposite shoulder to hip, right? And I'm thinking about the extensors of my body a fair amount for swimming because that's kind of what's working. But this is a really nice way to integrate the back and the front. So find your feet, knees bent, feet planted on the ground, and you want to let your shoulders relax, and you're going to press into your feet and lift your hips just a little bit off the ground. Make sure that it's not your back leading, but your hamstrings and glutes engaging to sort of lift you up. Then what you're going to do is see what it feels like to float one leg up to tabletop. And as you float to tabletop, did your pelvis wobble all over the place, or is it still level, right? Then what I'm going to think about doing is the foot that's on the ground, that opposite shoulder and arm are going to slice back. So I'm pushing down through that opposite arm. The leg that's lifted, I'm going to take that hand and push across. And I'm going to think, pull that knee across to the opposite shoulder as I push down into the mat with the opposite shoulder, arm, and foot. And then I'm going to go up and down in my bridge here. Inhale down, exhale up. Inhale down, pressing into those two opposite ends. So I'm thinking opposition in the back body pushing down into the mat, opposition into the front body pushing against each other. One more like this, coming up and lower down. Switch sides. So press into both feet. I like to bridge with both feet up, right? So I bring both feet down. So keep both feet planted, float the other leg up to tabletop, opposite hand to knee, in the front, opposite arm and foot pushing back. Keep the pelvis level. Inhale, drop down. Exhale, lift up. Ooh, I'm not level, so I've got to work on that. Lengthening the pelvis or the waist towards the feet, so you've got this anchoring of your shoulders, not taking pressure into your neck. Lower and lift 2 more times. And lift, pressing back. What is that? This diagonal is a little harder for me. And then come down with both feet. Press both arms back, both feet back. Lift up into the highest bridge that you can without taking it into your back or your neck. Right? So your shoulder blades and upper back are taking more weight than your neck. Push the arms back, push the feet down, getting the glutes active, and then come all the way down. And then from there, you're going to roll back over onto your belly. You're going to stack your hands, or maybe you have a towel you want to rest your head on, whatever feels comfortable for you. And you're going to find a nice stance. I like to wiggle my legs away from my pelvis. And then I want you to see what you can do to press the pelvis into the mat and also get the ribs and the chest into the mat. Then I want you to think about your sits bones having a line, your butt bones here, having a line that connect right down to your toes and your heel. As you lift one leg up without your pelvis rotating and without your back arching, and lower down. And try that on the other side. Can you breathe with this? What's the moment when you lift that leg that your knee wants to bend and drop? So think thigh really straight, knee really straight as you lift up. It's like like a handle on the back of my thigh, lifting it up towards the ceiling and lower down. You can do that. You can reach back and grab your pants and gotta lift your leg up and lower down. And what can you do? Can you do this one leg lift at a time without it dumping into the small of your back? Try one more time each side and lower down. And for some bodies, it feels better to go wider with the legs and for others narrower. So play with what's right for you. Then you're going to take your arms into a little V, and you're going to roll a little bit today so that the pinky edge of your hand is on the ground. And I want you to push down to the pinky edge of the hand and just lengthen the crown of the head like you're a turtle coming out of its shell. Come out of the shell and lift up, and then all you're going to do is keep your pelvis stable, so you might still have to use a little bit of those legs, as you lift one arm up and lower down. And then try the other side. Just lift a hand up. It could just be a centimeter. It could just be you dome the palm off the ground. And then lower down. Reach and lift. Reach and lift. Now, overhead shoulder reaches can be difficult for a lot of us. So, you could just do this with the arms by your side and the elbows bent, so your elbow is not above your shoulder, because that can create some shoulder impingement if your shoulders are not in great condition. So, you can bring the elbows down, and you can just think, lift one arm, lift the other arm. Then all you do is take the arms back down, take a moment to relax. Your back might work. I mean, it's okay for it to work, but what you want to feel is that you're working the entire back line of the body, not just the lower back, but in between the shoulder blades, in through the middle back, down to the lower back, down to the glutes and the hamstrings. So take the arms about the width of the mat. If you need to bend the elbows, bring the elbows down. Lift both legs up and reach the toes and reach the fingertips and lift everything up at once. And just feel that, like, how would you connect that, right? Elbows could be down. Could you just find that and lengthen? And then what if you lifted one arm and one leg up and thought squeezing that glute and shoulder, and then lower it back to your starting level, and then try the other side as you lift that arm up. Think shoulder blade and butt cheek come a little closer, and you lower down. And shoulder and butt cheek come a little closer, and down. And a lot of times I have people do this and just practice on one side and take the other side to the ground. So one hand and foot stays on the ground and the other arm lifts, and then you get to lower it all the way to the ground. And then you lift, and what's happening in your neck, and lower down. So you get to keep one side down and lift the opposite side, the opposite diagonal, I should say. Or you could lift everything up and practice lifting one diagonal and lower, and practice lifting the other diagonal. And when you feel good with it, you start to pick up your pace, and you figure out how fast or slow you can go without just your lower back doing it. Make sure your neck is still long. And you keep going, and you breathe, and when you're ready, you come down, you rest. I like to go into a little bit of a child's pose after this, but I have been in places in my life where that didn't work for me. So if your discs are a little off, then you might just want to come to hands and knees and just kind of shift back and forth just to loosen any strain on your lower back. If you have the capabilities, you can take your butt towards your feet and bring your head towards the mat. You can stack your hands and breathe and relax in that rest or child's position. So these are all great ways, and in any given day, your body could be in a different place. So choose what feels right for you, right? It might be that you just practice lifting the arms, or you just practice lifting the legs, or you keep one diagonal down and lift the opposite diagonal. It might be that you just do the bridging variation because it feels too uncomfortable to lay on the belly. So we always want you to listen to your body and choose your health over any sort of dogma or anything like that. And we hope that you stay strong, stay healthy, and stay home.